Welcome students for General Principles and Process of Isolation of Elements Part 3rd. In this video, we shall be studying about extraction of metals from their concentrated ore by calcination, roasting by using flux and reduction process. Let's proceed with the extraction. The definition: the process used to obtain metals in free state from the concentrated ore is called as extraction. Extraction of metals, which consist of two main steps. The first step is the oxidation and the second step is the reduction. When the metal compounds are converted into metallic oxide, the process which is involved is oxidation. When metallic oxides are converted into free metals, that is elemental state, then the process is reduction. Conversion of metallic compounds into metallic oxide, which essentially involves oxidation, can be carried out in two main processes. The first one, limited supply of air, whereas the second one is in excess of air. For limited supply of air, the process is called as calcination, whereas if excess of air is present, then that process of oxidation is called as roasting. So both calcination and roasting process are converting metallic compounds into metallic oxides. And students, once the metallic oxide has been produced, it can be reduced to free metals. And the process involved here, it is the reduction. And further students, reduction consists of two main types. The first one, chemical reduction, and second one, electrolytic reduction. In chemical reduction, if it is done by aqueous solution, then it is called as hydrometallurgy. If it is carried out by heating, it is called as pyrometallurgy. Whereas electrolytic reduction of metallic oxide to free metals can be done by electrometallurgy. Now let us consider calcination in detail. Calcination is the process of converting an ore into its oxides by heating it strongly below its melting point, either in the absence or limited supply of air. In this, students, metallic oxide are obtained from their respective metallic ores in the absence or limited supply of air. Following chemical changes occur during calcination. The first point, students, moisture which is present in the ore, that is metallic ores, can be very easily be removed. Whereas the second point, water content is removed from the hydrated ores. For example, when bauxite ore, that is aluminium oxide dihydrate, is heated and the process is calcination itself, we are getting aluminium oxide, which is commonly called as alumina, and water molecule. So water of hydration can be very easily removed from the respective ore particles. Let us consider one more example. Ferric oxide trihydrate. The name of the compound is limonite. On heating, ferric oxide and water molecule which is formed. Thus, in this reaction also, the hydrated ferric oxide, students, is getting converted into ferric oxide. So water is removed from the hydrated ores by using the process called as calcination. Now the third chemical change, carbonate ores are converted into their respective oxides by the loss of carbon dioxide molecule. So let us consider an example. When calcium carbonate on heating, formation of calcium oxide and carbon dioxide occurs. In this case, calcium carbonate has been converted into calcium oxide by the removal of carbon dioxide. Similarly, if we consider the second example, zinc carbonate, common name of this is calamine. On heating, we are obtaining zinc oxide and carbon dioxide. So in this reaction also, students, you can observe that the calamine compound or zinc carbonate on heating, that is the calcination process, we are getting metallic oxide, but carbon dioxide vapor which is liberated. Now the third example, a combination of both the carbonates, that is calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate. Common name of this is called as dolomite. On heating, we get calcium oxide and magnesium oxide with the liberation of carbon dioxide vapor. So this reaction also signifies that carbonate ores, when heated, we obtain metallic oxide with the liberation of carbon dioxide. So in the third reaction also, students, metallic carbonate ore is getting converted into metallic oxide with the liberation of carbon dioxide vapors. And the next point is the ore particles become porous in nature when calcination has been carried over. The diagram represents reverberatory furnace. In this, students, the ore particles which is added from this charge hooper right at the top of the furnace, and the presence of air vent is there which would be acting as a ventilation for the furnace, and the lining of the furnace is done with the brick which are high resistance for heat radiation. In this, students, we are adding at the beginning the ore particles from the charge hooper and which would be settled at the base of the furnace, which is continuously heated, and the fuel gas which would be escaping out from the one end of the furnace. Such furnace can be used for the calcination process, in which oxidation is occurring in the absence of the air or else in the limited supply of the air by means of this air vent. Now let us consider the second method of the oxidation. It is about roasting process. Roasting is a process in which ores are heated to a very high temperature below their melting point in the presence of excess of air. In this case, metallic ores are converted to metallic oxides in the presence of excess amount of air or oxygen. Following chemical changes occur during roasting process. The first one is moisture is getting removed by the process of roasting. And the second point is volatile impurities such as sulfur, arsenic, phosphorus, etc. are oxidized and removed as volatile impurities. For example, sulfur can be oxidized to sulfur dioxide by the roasting process, and the second one, arsenic as an impurity, can be oxidized by roasting to form arsenous oxide, that is As2O3 arsenous oxide vapors. Phosphor impurity can even be oxidized by roasting, that is on heating, to form phosphorus pentoxide P2O5. And the next one, sulfide ores are generally converted into metallic oxides. Let us consider some examples. When zinc sulfide is oxidized by the process of the roasting, then we can get zinc oxide along with sulfur dioxide vapors. Similarly, second example, when lead sulfide is oxidized by roasting process, it forms lead oxide with the liberation of sulfur dioxide vapors. In the same way, third reaction, when cuprous sulfide is oxidized by roasting process, then we get cuprous oxide, that is CuO, along with sulfur dioxide vapors. From this discussion, student, it is clear that sulfide ores are getting converted into metallic oxides. For example, zinc sulfide is getting converted into zinc oxide, lead sulfide is getting converted into lead oxide, cuprous sulfide is getting converted into cuprous oxide. And the next, roasting process makes the ore particles to become porous in nature. The diagram represents reverberatory furnace which is used for the roasting process. So once we carry out the oxidation process, students, either by using the calcination process or else roasting process, now one more question arises: what if impurities are still present? Then for the oxide ore what we are obtaining, we are adding flux. So question arises, what is flux? A flux is a chemical substance added to the concentrated ore in order to remove the gangue to form easily fusible slag material. When the flux combines with the gangue particles, they form slag material. For example, silica, which acts as a flux material, it combines with ferrous oxide, which is a gangue or impurities, to form iron silicate. Now let's study about principle of adding flux. Ore particles along with the impurities, students, it is combined with the flux material. As a result, impurities which are present in the ore particles, they combine with the flux to form a slag material which can be very easily removed, whereas the ore particles are set free here from the impurities. And once the impurity combines with the flux, the slag, which can be very easily removed from the concentrated ore. Next, students, flux are of mainly two types. The first one, acidic flux, and the second one, basic flux. Example of acidic flux: when zinc sulfide is present in combination with calcium oxide, we are adding acidic flux such as silica, that is SiO2, students, to form calcium silicate. Here zinc sulfide is an ore particle and the impurity which is present is what? Calcium oxide. So this calcium oxide impurity can be very easily be combined with the flux, that is silica, to form calcium silicate. CaO plus SiO2, it would be giving us calcium silicate, CaSiO3. In common it is called as slag material. Along with this, we obtain zinc sulfide in a pure form. Example of basic flux. In this case, zinc sulfide is the ore particle and silica is impurity. So we are adding flux calcium carbonate. As a result, calcium carbonate combines with silica to form calcium silicate, CaSiO3, as a slag. Whereas we get zinc sulfide as a pure ore. Along with this, carbon dioxide vapors are also liberated. Why? Because we are adding calcium carbonate and we heat this, then the liberation of carbon dioxide vapors can occur. Now in exam, students, many a times they would be asking you difference between roasting and calcination. So let us discuss about this. In case of roasting, students, ore is heated to a very high temperature but below its melting point in the presence of excess of air or else oxygen. Whereas in case of calcination, the ore is heated in the absence of air or else in limited supply of air. Second point of difference, sulfide ores are oxidized to form metallic oxides in case of roasting. So roasting process helps for the conversion of sulfide ores into respective metallic oxides. Whereas calcination, students, the ore decomposes to form metallic oxides. For example, the decomposition of carbonate ores, it would be giving us metallic oxides with the liberation of carbon dioxide vapors. Now students, in detail we shall study about the second type, that is reduction process, which is occurring. So this process is also equally important. Why? Because both roasting and the calcination is converting metallic ores into metallic oxides. But once the metallic oxides are being produced, they have to be get converted into free metals. And for that process, we want reduction process. Reduction process are of mainly two types, the chemical reduction and electrolytic reduction. So within chemical reduction, student, let's study in detail about the first process of chemical reduction. It is the hydrometallurgy. In case of hydrometallurgy, students, we are extracting the metals from their aqueous solution, that is dissolved in the water of their respective salts. Hydrometallurgy is a process of extraction of metals by converting their ores into aqueous solution of metal compounds and reduction of these solutions using a suitable reducing agent. So that process is called as hydrometallurgy. For example, student, when metal has been reacted with cyanide anion in presence of water, that is aqueous condition, and atmospheric air for oxidation, so we can get metallic complex which is water soluble with the liberation of OH minus ions. So here we are using one reducing agent as Cn minus. So this we are adding a reagent sodium cyanide so that insoluble metals can be converted into soluble complex form, that is dissolved in the water. These are some of the diagrams of hydrometallurgy which are used on industrial scale. Now students, let us continue our discussion with the second important chemical reduction process, that is pyrometallurgy. In pyrometallurgy, students, ore particles is reduced to the metal by using a very high temperature, and pyrometallurgy can be defined as a process in which the concentrated ore are reduced to form crude metals at a very high temperature. Reducing agents which we are using in this process are carbon, hydrogen and aluminium metals. Now let us discuss in detail about carbon as a reducing agent which is bringing about the pyrometallurgy, and the process name itself is called as smelting. In this process, students, extracting the impure molten metal from its ore at a very high temperature by using carbon as a reducing agent. Let us consider some of the reactions. When tin oxide is reacted with the carbon as a reducing agent, then tin oxide is reduced to tin elemental state along with carbon is oxidized to carbon monoxide. Next reaction, when ferric oxide is reacted with carbon monoxide, then the formation of elemental state iron along with carbon dioxide vapors. Pyrometallurgy of the iron. The diagram represents blast furnace. By using this, we can extract Fe particles from its respective ore. And here the second diagram represents world's largest blast furnace in the year 1931, which is used for the extraction of Fe particles. Let's continue with the third important method for reduction. It is electrometallurgy. Electrometallurgy. In this case, electrolytic reduction of metallic compounds occurs, and the metallic compounds such as oxides or hydroxides and even halides are electrolyzed in their fused state, or else student you can even call molten state. For example, when NaCl, it is present in a fused state, is electrolyzed, we get sodium metal along with chlorine vapor, and here Na plus and Cl minus electrons are formed in the electrolyte. Sodium cation would be attracted towards the cathode rod, whereas chloride anion is getting attracted towards the anode. Thus, sodium ion is reduced at the cathode by gaining one electron to form sodium metal solid state, whereas chloride anion is attracted towards anode rod where oxidation occurs. Thus, chloride anion is losing one electron towards the anode. As a result, chlorine atom which is formed, both the chlorine atoms combine to form chlorine molecule. Thus, chlorine vapors are evolved at anode, and at the cathode sodium metal is formed. So in this way, sodium metal can be extracted from its metallic halide, that is sodium chloride. Electrometallurgy of sodium by using Dow's cell. In this cell, students, cathode is made up of iron rod, which acts as a negatively charged electrode, whereas anode is made up of carbon rod, which is acting as positive electrode. When the electric current is passed, sodium cation gets attracted towards the cathode rod and they get reduced to form sodium metal by gaining electron, whereas at the anode, students, oxidation occurs of the chloride to chlorine molecule by losing electron towards the anode rod. Thus, we are obtaining sodium metal at the cathode. In this way, sodium can be extracted from their respective metallic halides, either in the molten state or else in the aqueous state. The diagram represents electrometallurgy of the sodium in fused state in industries. In summary, in this video, we have studied about two main extraction processes, that is, first one oxidation and the second one as a reduction. Oxidation, metallic compounds are converted into metallic oxide by using two main methods, calcination and the roasting, whereas metallic oxides can be converted to free metals by using reduction process. This one is a second step, and the reduction process involves that of two main types, chemical reduction and electrolytic reduction. So under the heading of chemical reduction, aqueous solution method means hydrometallurgy by using reducing agent, and on heating, pyrometallurgy, and the third one by electrolytic reduction, that is electrometallurgy. Thank you, students. In the next video, we shall be studying about Ellingham diagram along with refining processes. Thank you.